She addressed the country and declared that her whole life, whether it be long or short, would be devoted to the service of her people. Service, dedication and respect were watchwords that guided her life.
Princess of Wales helped to ensure the safety and prosperity of the United Kingdom, our allies and our partners.
Royal sources are buzzing about a recent event that left everyone inside the palace stunned, and yes, some even wiped away a few quiet tears. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has officially been appointed Vice Admiral of the United Kingdom, crowned by none other than King Charles himself, alongside the legendary Admiral of the Fleet, Sir David Benjamin Bathurst. But this isn't just a ceremonial honor. It's a history-making decision that breaks centuries of tradition the very first time. A woman has stepped into this elite Royal Navy role. What unfolded inside those regal halls, and why did it strike such a deep emotional chord with the royals? Stay with us till the end. And don't forget to like and share if you love royal stories. There's something deeply admirable about how Catherine has embraced her responsibilities as a royal. It's not just about fashion or formal events. It's about a woman who has consistently shown strength in silence and steady commitment. They say true leadership reveals itself in unpredictable moments, and with Catherine, her calm demeanor under pressure often says more than 1,000 words. When King Charles and Sir David Benjamin Bathurst chose to present her with this honor, it went beyond tradition. It reflected her own path, her genuine interest in the armed forces, and her role as a forward-thinking member of the monarchy. This was an acknowledgement that felt earned, built on real work, not just lineage. Imagine that scene. The room, full of decorated officers, the atmosphere thick with legacy, and Catherine composed and confident at the center of it all. This is the kind of moment royal history books remember. But to truly grasp why this matters so much, we need to step back and look at how it all began. The journey that led to this unprecedented recognition. From the start, Catherine has had a unique connection with the British military. It wasn't accidental. Her ties to the armed forces go back to 2011, shortly after she became part of the royal family. Remember when she was first named Honorary Air Commodore of the Royal Air Force Air Cadets? That was the foundation. Since then, she's taken on meaningful military roles, like being named Colonel-in-Chief of the Irish Guards in 2023, placing her right at the heart of military ceremonies and traditions. But her link to the Navy runs even deeper. In August 2023, King Charles appointed her Commodore-in-Chief of the Fleet Air Arm, the aviation wing of the Royal Navy. It was a fitting post, especially considering her fascination with the way air power supports naval missions. She's toured bases, talked with naval personnel, and even became sponsor of vessels like HMS Glasgow. Sources say these aren't just appearances for the camera. Catherine digs in. She asks important, sometimes difficult, questions. She wants to understand the realities, from mental health support to the impact on families when loved ones are deployed. That direct approach got the attention of naval leadership, including Sir David Benjamin Bathurst himself. Sir Bathurst, who aside from King Charles is the only living admiral of the fleet, brings decades of naval experience. He once served as First Sea Lord and Chief of Naval Staff during the 1990s, managing reforms in major operations. His name is synonymous with excellence in the Royal Navy, and he's long pushed for modernization within the forces. When the idea of naming a woman Vice Admiral came up, insiders say Catherine was at the top of the list. She balances compassion with strength, Sir Bathurst is believed to have said behind closed doors. Honoring her would recognize genuine service. And with that, history began to shift. There's a deep, quiet respect between King Charles and Sir David Bathurst, a bond built over decades. Both men hold the rare title of Admiral of the Fleet, which represents the highest status in naval leadership. Charles, as Lord High Admiral, serves as the Royal Navy's ceremonial figurehead, but Sir Bathurst brings operational insight from his years on deck. Together, they bridge heritage and progress in Britain's naval tradition. According to palace insiders, their conversations often focus on inspiring future generations. And that's where Catherine comes in. She's not just part of the royal bloodline. She's become a powerful symbol of modern evolution. King Charles has long admired Catherine's composure, especially during difficult periods, including his own recent health battles. In a rare, unscripted moment, he reportedly said, "She's like a steady compass in rough waters," a phrase that fits naval life perfectly. Sir Bathurst has publicly recognized her contributions to, especially, her visits to naval installations. During one trip to HMS Astute, a submarine base, she spent time with the crew discussing the emotional toll of underwater missions. Her questions weren't rehearsed. They showed she truly grasped what these service members give up. That kind of empathy builds credibility. So when the subject of promoting her to Vice Admiral surfaced, it felt like a natural progression. This wasn't just a casual honor. It was a high-level decision made with careful thought and private discussions among naval leaders who saw it as a chance to boost morale and representation. The rank of Vice Admiral of the United Kingdom carries a legacy dating back to 1513, established by King Henry VIII as a deputy to the Lord High Admiral. For generations, it's been held exclusively by men of giants who helped shape Britain's command of the seas. But now, that changes. For the very first time, the role goes to a woman, and not just any woman, Catherine, a mother, a royal figure, and a symbol of modern strength within the monarchy. The excitement built slowly, like a rising tide, leading to a ceremony that would make history. Imagine it, a majestic chamber inside Buckingham Palace, decorated with naval standards and portraits of historic commanders. The date, July 16, 2025, just 2 days ago. Now etched in royal memory, King Charles, wearing his Admiral of the Fleet uniform, stood at the heart of the room beside Sir David Benjamin Bathurst. The 89-year-old admiral, sharp as ever, held the official insignia symbol passed through generations of naval leadership. Catherine entered in a navy blue ensemble tailored to perfection, her posture flawless, but her eyes revealed a flicker of nerves, a human element that endears her to so many. King Charles spoke first, his tone calm and sincere. Catherine, your commitment to our armed forces has been truly outstanding. Today, we honor that with a rank that represents your role as both a guide and an example. Then Sir Bathurst stepped forward. His words carried the weight of a storied naval career. This title isn't just ceremonial, it lights the way for women in the Navy. It shows them that the top ranks are no longer out of reach. He laid the ceremonial sash over her shoulders, and with King Charles by his side, they declared together, "You are now Vice Admiral of the United Kingdom." The room filled with applause. But it wasn't the cheers that stayed with those closest to the royals, it was the small, private moments that followed. Prince William looked on with emotion, visibly proud. Later, he reportedly told friends, it felt like watching her step into a new chapter, not just supporting anymore, but leading. Their children George, Charlotte, and Louis were also in attendance. Louis fidgeted, of course, but Charlotte beamed. It was a reminder that even royal life is grounded in family. The event wasn't long, but its significance was powerful. Naval leaders present described it as a moment of true transformation, a sign that the Royal Navy is entering a new era, and as Catherine accepted the role, she made a quiet promise. "I'll continue to advocate for the courageous men and women who defend our seas," she said. Her words were brief, but carried impact. What truly touched hearts were the personal notes woven throughout the event. King Charles, known for moments of deep feeling, paused during his remarks. His voice cracked slightly as he mentioned Catherine's steady presence during his coronation. "You've been my anchor," he said, "and today, we recognize that anchor as a leader." Royal insiders say it was one of those rare moments when emotion took over, and it wasn't just the king. Sir Bathurst reportedly teared up as well, a man who's faced conflict at sea, humbled in a palace hall. "This," he later said, "is what service is about, elevating those who inspire others." William was deeply moved. He and Catherine exchanged a glance that said everything: parts love, admiration, and understanding. You might recall William once called Catherine his rock. On this day, that sentiment came to life as the insignia was handed to her. Catherine touched it gently and whispered, "Thank you to His Majesty." That moment reflected a bond not just of duty, but of famille, daughter-in-law and father-in-law connection, built over years of shared experience. Even the children added to the emotional weight. George, next in line to the throne, watched carefully, perhaps absorbing a lesson in what it means to lead. Charlotte, ever composed, hugged her mother and said, "Mommy, you're like a ship's captain now." It was innocent, tender, and deeply moving. Louis, in classic form, gave a playful salute that made the room chuckle, but even he seemed to sense the occasion's importance. The tears weren't just joyful, they came from seeing how far Catherine has come from a newlywed navigating royal life to a figure making real change. It's a powerful transformation, especially for those who've watched her journey closely, and this is just the beginning of her influence in military circles. This appointment isn't only a personal achievement, it's a breakthrough moment. For women across the board, the Vice Admiral title has been around for more than 500 years. Giants like Admiral Lord Nelson once held it. More recently, it's been awarded to high-ranking male officers, but never a woman until now. Catherine's promotion is a landmark moment, breaking through one of the most enduring glass ceilings in British tradition, the Royal Navy. Women have been serving in naval forces since the Women's Royal Naval Service was founded back in 1917, but positions like this, the top symbolic roles, those were always reserved for men. Until Catherine changed the script. Though she's not a commissioned officer, Catherine's new role as second-in-command to the Lord High Admiral holds powerful symbolic meaning. It sends a clear message to women in uniform. The top ranks are now within reach. Military historians note that this comes during a crucial shift in the armed forces, one where gender equality is no longer a concept, but a priority. With women now serving aboard submarines and taking on combat duties, Catherine's appointment echoes that progress. Sir Bathurst, always a supporter of modern reforms, has spent his career opening doors for diverse talent. At 89, he finds himself once again at the center of a defining moment in naval history. King Charles, too, has made inclusion a theme of his reign, aiming to shape a modern monarchy that mirrors the evolving face of Britain. Royal experts say this move is strategic. It boosts the Royal Navy's appeal to young women across the country. Imagine a teenage girl dreaming of a naval career and seeing someone like Catherine in that role. It could light a fire for a new generation, and as the very first female to hold the title, she's setting a powerful example that's difficult to overlook. Her poise, her ongoing advocacy for mental health within the armed forces, it's all contributing to a legacy rooted in real impact. Behind palace doors, this new appointment is already changing things in subtle but meaningful ways. Catherine, once primarily seen as William's steadfast partner, is now forging her own leadership path within the military space. That dynamic only strengthens their bond. William, who served as an RAF search and rescue pilot, knows the weight of service. He's even been overheard joking, "She outranks me now," a playful nod filled with admiration. Their children are paying attention, too. George, the future monarch, watches his mother take on leadership with grace. Charlotte, whose confidence continues to grow, may one day walk a similar path. And young Louis, he's thrilled just to talk about ships. For King Charles, this moment honors not just Catherine, but family as a whole. He's always leaned on her insights for charity initiatives, and now her voice carries into naval affairs. Sir Bothest continues to mentor her personally, offering advice gained from decades at sea. Together, the three of them, Monarch, Admiral, and Princess, present a united vision for the Royal Navy's future. But beyond the symbolism, there's emotional depth to what happened. The ceremony didn't just mark a career milestone, it drew the royal family closer. It reminded them of the shared principles that hold them together: commitment, courage, and care. Behind the scenes, insiders say the event also helped smooth over past frictions. It put the spotlight on shared purpose and the future. Catherine's new role includes more base visits, deeper engagement with servicemen and women, and possibly international naval diplomacy. It's a full schedule, but one she steps into with energy. And as she grows in this space, the royal family continues to evolve, more collaborative, more united. Looking ahead, Catherine's goals for her vice admiral role are bold and visionary, shaped by her passion for long-term change. She plans to address sustainability in naval operations, drawing directly from her environmental advocacy, which she's championed for years. Take the Earthshot Prize, spearheaded by Prince William, a project she's supported through high appearances. Inspired by those efforts, Catherine now envisions the Royal Navy taking the lead on greener practices. In private discussions with Sir Bothest, she's already floated ideas like using alternative fuels, solar-assisted engines, and new systems to reduce plastic pollution at sea. These talks, held in discreet meetings at Admiralty House, reflect her hands-on approach. Sir Bothest reportedly called her a strategic thinker who understands the importance of protecting oceans for future generations. Inside sources say Catherine views this not just as a military role, but an extension of her broader mission to promote environmental innovation on a global scale. She's even exploring potential international partnerships for sharing ecosystems between navies. Another key focus is supporting the families of deployed personnel, a cause close to her heart. She's had countless intimate conversations with military families at locations like HMS Collingwood and Portsmouth Naval Base, hearing stories about the emotional stress, long separations, and the difficulty of readjusting to home life has shaped her priorities. Now she's working to strengthen support systems like expanding counseling, developing stronger community networks, and creating safe spaces for connection. This ties in perfectly with her long-running mental health work. Catherine has been at the forefront since she helped launch the Heads Together campaign in 2016 with Prince William and Prince Harry, aimed at breaking the stigma around mental health. That project has since grown into resources like the Mentally Healthy Schools platform, and in 2025, she helped introduce Happy Little Minds, a program for underprivileged preschoolers in London. Catherine now plans to incorporate those lessons into her naval work, including mental wellness workshops designed specifically for the children of sailors. It's about ensuring the families left behind feel included and emotionally supported. It's about building resilience from day one. She recently shared in a conversation, because early care prevents lifelong wounds, and education remains high on her agenda, especially when it comes to empowering women in naval careers. Her dedication to childhood development now finds a new focus, helping young women in uniform succeed and lead in a traditionally male-dominated space. Catherine's passion for child development has already been seen through her Shaping Us initiative and the creation of the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, which champions the critical first 5 years of life. Now, she may bring that same vision to naval initiatives, potentially launching skill-building programs for women in maritime careers. From engineering to leadership roles, breaking barriers further and encouraging inclusion, She could also roll out mentorship opportunities or scholarships inspired by her editorial work on nurturing a happier, more resilient society, repurposing those insights to support adult education within the armed forces. King Charles strongly backs this idea, seeing it as an essential chapter in his legacy of modernization and environmental stewardship, much like his own work on climate and sustainability. This new title gives Catherine a powerful platform to guide policy in nuanced but impactful ways, not as a lawmaker, but as a proactive royal voice, known for listening and acting. There's already chatter about upcoming visits to partner navies, such as U.S. Navy installations in Virginia, or Australia's HMAS Sterling. These visits would shine a light on the UK's strengths in innovation and defense. Partnerships with Catherine possibly joining cross-national training efforts or green defense conferences. These trips would not only raise the Royal Navy's international profile but also allow Catherine to strengthen diplomatic and military alliances around the globe. At the heart of all this is balance, something Catherine has mastered through her many roles as a mother, royal, and humanitarian. She will continue her trailblazing work in early development, including the 2025 expansion of mental wellness support in nurseries, ensuring this focus merges naturally with her new naval duties. For example, she may introduce resilience programs for children of deployed sailors, creating a well-rounded system that supports families across generations. It's this integrated, deeply compassionate approach that separates Catherine from prior title holders who mostly focused on ceremony. Now, guided by Sir Bothest, whose leadership reformed the Navy in the 1990s, Catherine is well-positioned to turn today's challenges into transformative opportunities. This isn't the conclusion of her journey. It's the beginning of a bold new chapter filled with meaningful influence, motivation, and potential that may redefine female leadership within military circles. As we close this remarkable story, it's clear that Catherine's appointment as Vice Admiral of the United Kingdom goes far beyond protocol. It's a breakthrough moment, a reflection of who she is, and a unifying moment for the royal family. From the heartfelt ceremony to the historic shift it represents, this is a milestone in royal legacy. But let's step back and consider the larger picture. What does this appointment signal for the future? Not just for the monarchy, but for the country, and maybe even the world. With Catherine now stepping into this ceremonial role, we're witnessing a massive cultural change in how tradition adapts. For centuries, the Royal Navy has been Britain's anchor of strength from epic sea battles to today's peacekeeping missions. And now, through this appointment, King Charles and Sir David Benjamin Bathurst are showing the world that honoring tradition doesn't mean resisting progress. This isn't just for show, it could lead to real developments, like recruiting more women into technical roles within the Navy, or designing better work-life balance programs for military families issues Catherine has addressed during her visits and conversations. Now imagine the ripple effects. Girls watching from across the UK and beyond, seeing Catherine as living proof that leadership is not confined by gender. Her unique blend of wisdom, grace, and empathy sets a new benchmark, one that encourages the military to invest further in mental health, sustainable naval operations, and international teamwork under her influence. Royal commentators believe we may see more joint military drills where Catherine's presence strengthens unity and morale. Even within her family, this role is reshaping dynamics. William, with his own flight experience in the RAF, now shares this deep sense of service with a partner leading in her own right. Their children are seeing that leadership comes in many forms, lived, not just told. For King Charles, this is a proud step in his mission to build a monarchy that's modern, inclusive, and truly responsive to today's world. Naturally, challenges lie ahead. The Navy continues to face financial limitations and evolving global tensions. But with experienced leaders like Sir Bothest offering wisdom and Catherine bringing new energy, there's hope for real, lasting transformation. This isn't the end. It's the rise of a new era, one where tradition meets innovation, and royalty becomes a stronger force for impact within national defense. What are your thoughts on this historic moment? Could it shift the way we think about women in high-ranking positions? Drop your opinions in the comments below. We always enjoy hearing your perspective. And make sure to subscribe for more in-depths royal stories as we uncover the personal moments that continue to shape modern monarchy. Coming up next, a surprising look into a lesser-known royal ritual, or perhaps a family moment that changed everything.